This is the very first video for Microsoft Access. We're going to cover how to start Microsoft Access and how to create a database and a table, what we really need to do before we can do anything else. So I'm going to go to the Start menu and All Programs, and then find Microsoft Office 2013. If you don't have that, you might have a similar folder like Office that has Access in it. In my case, it's under the 2013 folder. So I'm going to click that and start it. And Microsoft Access, we have to create the file first. We can't just start editing and save it later. So in this class, we're always going to either open a file or create a blank file. So I'm going to click Create a Blank Database. And this is really important. I want to give it a name first. I'm going to call it Students. And I'm going to want to set a location here. If I don't change this location, if I don't click the little folder button, it's going to get saved in my documents. And if we save a file in my documents on a lab computer, it's not going to be there when we go to a different computer. And in fact, it might even get cleared out if we open it on the same computer. That doesn't happen often, but it can happen. So we'll want to not only give a name, but avoid that temptation to just go ahead and click Create. Make sure you click the folder button and choose where you want it to get saved. I'm going to choose on my N drive. And we might want to create a CIS 120 or a similar folder to store things like that. So on my N drive, now it'll be available on any Dominican computer. I've put it in a CIS 120 folder to keep things a little bit more organized. And I've named the file. I'm going to go ahead and click Create. In Access, we start with a table. That's where our information, where our data is going to go. And later it'll actually go into many different tables, but we'll just start with one. We'll also see later how to really get that information back out from the table in a meaningful way. If we have a lot of information here, we'll see how to create queries and do other things that will get out just the pieces of information that we're interested in. But right now we need to just start with a table, create it, and put that information in. Most of that process will be in another video, but I just want to show you that at the very beginning, Access knows we're going to need a table. It creates one for us. At the very beginning here, it puts us in a view where we could just start typing information into our table, but we're actually going to design it and define what information should go in there later. So initially, we just need to save it. I'm just going to click the little Save button up in the top left, and it's going to ask me to name the table. We're going to keep track of students in our example here, so I'm going to name the table Students. And my tab shows up here nicely named, and it shows up over in the list of tables over here as our students table. Although I saved this students table, it's all part of my database, my students database that I created at the very beginning. So if I close Access and go find that file, so let's go to the N drive and CS120, here's my students file. Inside of that is my students table. They don't have to have the same name. I could have named the table something else. It would still be part of the students database. And in fact, I can have many different tables. They'll all get saved inside that same file. So once I've created this file, I can double click here to open it, or I could go back and open up Access. And we're going to see a list of recent files, so I could go to open other files if I haven't looked at this file recently. But if I've just opened it recently, I can go to this list of recent files here and open it back up. Access has some security concerns, some security warnings. So when I open a file for the first time, it's going to ask me to enable the content to give it sort of full access to the data. I'll go ahead and click on that. And then if I might open this file again on the computer, I can make it a trusted document so it won't keep asking me every time that I want to open that new file.